the game, cause see the boxing voice.
Welcome back, gang, for the first time and hopefully many more to come. Don't forget to subscribe to the YouTube channel and click on the notifications right here, this little bell, so you can get those emails every time we go.
Well, let's get on out to the big news. It's funny, man. I feel like I should be kicking myself. I was speaking to Marcus Browne, trainer, over the weekend, and I was invited to the gym Saturday, but it was at 11 o'clock in the morning, and I just couldn't make it there in time. And now with this news, I don't know if I should be kicking myself. Now, I will say Saturday was the day that Marcus was already in the building for MSG, because our very own Adam Sperber was able to get an interview with Marcus. So we eventually got to speak to him, but this is a good matchup. I don't know how good it is for Kovalev, but I'm not sure either that Marcus is a given win due to we've seen certain things in the ring and his chin in the past. Now, you know, Daniel Jacobs is a guy that's kind of made me not be quick to say anyone is chinny anymore, Matt, because when he stepped up to the biggest performance of his career, his chin really was an issue. Did he go down? Yeah, but I mean, he was right back up, and he seemed
guys like Badu Jack, Tony Bellew, like we have guys that we talk about at a high level now, that we respect at a high level now, that have been knocked out, that have been finished. You know, not everyone gets the Amir Khan sort of stigma for glass chin. You know, some guys can bounce back and look good. You know, I think this could be that case, so to speak.
Now, what's interesting about this matchup is that before it was made official by many publications, Browne on his own Instagram had already put a picture of him in the middle, Kovalev and Arthur Beterbiev. Have you seen that?
So Kovalev and Beterbiev?
Yes.
And them fighting?
No, and Marcus was in the middle. Did you see? Do you
I
follow him on Instagram? Do you stalk him on Instagram?
I did not see that. I'm sorry.
All right. So the caption was like, I don't pick. This is God-given strap season, right? So he obviously had two options, because that was the rumor I had always been hearing, that he was either going to fight Beterbiev or go straight for Kovalev. Both were going to be title fights, because Beterbiev is the IBF champion, correct?
Yes.
So do you think, and obviously this fight is official, but it is not. No, it's signed, but there's no venue. Now, there's two conflicting reports. I believe Boxing Scene is saying it's signed. Michael Compinger is saying that it's not signed. And Boxing Scene is saying that it is, but they need a venue. Regardless, we're close, Matt. That being said, do you prefer him to take on Kovalev, or would you have preferred Beterbiev?
No, Kovalev. Kovalev is the better fight. One, he's the more established guy in the division. Other than Adonis Stevenson, it's really Kovalev. You know, now, and especially with Andre Ward, you know, in his retirement, whatever that might be. You know, it is Adonis Stevenson and Kovalev at the top of the division, and you have Badu Jack and Marcus Browne trying to break that top. You know, I think Artur Beterbiev is sort of in the Bivol position, where phenomenal talent, young champion, but he's not the guy yet. Kovalev is closer to the guy than Beterbiev is. And even though Kovalev has a loss, I also say that Kovalev's probably a bigger scalp on your resume going forward. You know, beating Kovalev, especially if you can knock him out, means something. Marcus Browne, a heavy hitter, a southpaw, the bigger man probably in the fight, in the ring on fight night. I can see Marcus Browne maybe getting a highlight reel knockout against Kovalev. That might be something that could jettison him over to the top of not stardom, but relevant.
Is Marcus ready at this point? I mean, you know, we've seen the hiccup with Calorgio or something like that. You know, Raj Jack, whatever, that he got dropped in the Barclays Center. But after that, he's been able to kind of tighten things up, and I believe score a couple of knockouts. I'm gonna check that, but I think he's been able to kind of get things back in order after that 2016. I don't even know how to pronounce this guy's name. I don't know if we should get Jeffrey on it. I mean, we haven't seen him fight since this day.
Don't worry about this. But we know he knocked out Shawnee Monahan. We know he knocked out Top Dog Williams. I think he knocked out one other guy. I forget.
I just don't know that any of those guys prepare him. Like Monahan, you know, you and I and any other hardcores knew what Monahan was. He was a tough journeyman, undefeated journeyman, but not B-A level. You know, Kovalev is at the very least A level, you know, A minus, B plus level, depending how much of a hater you are. You know, I led with A, right? So Fancy Natutu, he's not on that level. And Top Dog, while it's a good name, it is a good name, it has an asterisk attached to it. Top Dog's been getting knocked out by everybody, or at least looking vulnerable by everybody, even in loss, because whoever didn't knock him out at least hurt him or wobbled him. And you know, I mean, we've heard guys like Earl Spence and Javonta in the past say, yo, like you're gonna always ask, you know, who has he beat to get this title shot? But you have to, the fighter has to have an opportunity, man.
2 points. We saw Andre Ward have some success fighting out of the southpaw position, and we haven't seen Kovalev fight a slick black fighter since that fight. Marcus Browne is those things. We've seen Marcus Browne improve. Marcus Browne is obviously in the prime of his career, I would say. And we've both seen Marcus Browne in the gym. We know that he has talent. We know he can use his length. We know he has power. So I think it could be catching Kovalev at the right time, and it could be Marcus Browne hitting that right time. You're right that we haven't seen him beat a level opponent of a Kovalev. We haven't. But when he does fight him, that may be the time that we do see it. That may be the first time we do see it. We may be banking on that. Similar to Eubanks Groves. That was a gamble to bet on the more younger, unproven talent. You know, sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't work. It's the name of the
Marcus. I mean, he's here. He told Adam there's no need for any more fancy Natutus. And, you know, looking at my favorite ranking system, which obviously does not rank according to fights, more on their point system, but it usually keeps the top names at the top. You know that Adonis is busy with Badu Jack. Kovalev is obviously free coming off of a win. Dimitri Bivol also free coming off of a win, but considered a tough fight in terms of opponent. Not that he had a tough time. Eldalil Alvarez has paid more step-aside money, or excuse me, accepted more step-aside money than we've watched him fight. And Alexander had just got a win yesterday. Smith lost to Barrera, and there's Marcus Browne. So under Browne is Better Biev, and then Barrera from Fora, so on and so forth. I mean, it is the time for Browne, especially with statements like he made to Adam yesterday. I don't know if you were, you know, you could have been busy, could have been on a date. I don't know if you had time to check out Adam's interview with Marcus, but he kind of took shots at Anthony Yarde. You know, he's like, you know, they're pumping up this guy, Anthony Yarde, and he's fought nothing but, I don't know if he said cab drivers or bus drivers, but it was a driver and not a fighter. And Yarde just picked up some sort of WBO international or continental yesterday as well, I believe.
Well, obviously, setting up a big UK fight and rivalry is a smart financial move and business move by Marcus Browne. Because I think Kovalev is a different generation. So when Marcus Browne is really in his prime and potentially reigning as a champion, you know, I don't think Kovalev is going to be contemporary. I think Kovalev is a passing of the torch right now, sort of stage in his career, maybe. He still could be a contender, still could fight guys, but I don't think his reign in the sun is here. I think it's going to be other guys like a Bivol, like a Better Beef, like a Marcus Browne. I think it's their time. Badu Jack, even. I think he has a little bit more time in the sun, too, even though he even said he only has a few fights left in his career. You know, I think that's what we're going to get. And I think Anthony Yarde matchup in the next, let's say, 2-3 years.
I mean, maybe this year, if it's not perceived as a big fight because it's American UK, because like I said, Yarde does have a title. It's a European WBO, and obviously Kovalev is the WBO, and Marcus Browne is the mandatory.
No, you wait a couple years for that one. Because think about it, like,
yeah, but just
to put in perspective,
for argument's sake, just so you know, Anthony Yarde's ranked, on BoxRec at 15.
How many fights does he have? How many fights does he have? Because you're on BoxRec, I'm not.
Yeah. Yarde. Where are you?
That actually changes my opinion. How many fights he has?
15.
I think it's at least a year.
And Browne has 21.
I think
4-fight difference only. Oh no. Shit, he's 15. All right, 7-fight difference. That's a lot. That's a big difference. That's 2 years and a half.
In my mind, if those guys get the right wins, that could be a Wilder Joshua in that division. Obviously, not to the magnitude of that fight because they're heavyweights, but similar dynamic, right? I think again, you're going to have a marination factor with those two matchups if those guys keep winning. You have them fight the Beterbieves, Bivens, the Badou Jacks, the Adonis Stevensons, Kovalevs before they fight each other. Is what I'm probably thinking if I'm in their two respective, camps.
I think if you're Yarde's people, unless Yarde proves to be what the UK fight fans believe, right? They compare him and reference Roy Jones Jr. when talking of Anthony Yarde. So if he proves to be some sort of reincarnation of Roy Jones, they're 26 and 27. They're 26 and 27. Marcus is an Olympian where Yarde is not. So maybe the UK, managerial team, he's with Box Nation and Frank Warren. They might keep Yarde away a little bit longer because he's obviously going to end up being more popular. They're doing a good job promoting him. We have been speaking about him on this side for a while.
And he's a good self-promoter. I mean, our boy Dove in the UK has done a lot of interviews with him. Like, he's a natural, like...
Shout out to Dove Joe. You can catch him on all forms of social media at Dove Joe. He has done a good job covering Anthony Yarde. And Anthony Yarde's done, like you said, a good job self-promoting. His little video hitting the power punching machine has gone viral for quite some years now, or at least a year. And his pad work. It's that DMV Boogs and Coach Barry Hunter type of pad work, the 1A you see Adrian Browne and Javante and even a Floyd Mayweather, Roger Mayweather do, where it's 1 million combinations.
Agreed. Again, I think that's a fight that we're not going to get in the next 12 months, probably in the next 2 to 3 years.
Well, I mean, if Browne gets a win over Kovalev, emphatic enough that there is no push for a rematch, the rest of the rankings just keep moving, and that's why we may see it sooner than later.
What is up, TBV family? Yes, YouTube has been cutting funding to their channels as of late, and with net neutrality going through its process, the internet is changing. If you want to keep your favorite channel intact, coming up with tons of content, and plus get hours and hours of extra content, head over to patreon.com/ThaBoxingVoice to become a member of the TBV family and help support the channel. Peace.
Ain't no other sight in the game, 'cause see the boxing voice.